Doug Parrish Football Organically. Great win today, Coach. What's your overall assessment?
Well, there's a lot of lessons to learn from that game. The difference between bad football and good football is this much. And in the first half, I think we had good effort, but boy, our execution was lacking. We really were not in any type of rhythm as a team. I'm really proud of the way the guys persevered through that. It didn't feel great. I mean, we all noticed that, and even in the locker room. But once you get out there and you trust your training, and whether it's playing leverage or tackling or you're offensively, our eyes are in the right places, delivering the ball, blocking people, then all of a sudden things start going your way. And we did a much better job. I mean, it's really a tale of two halves. I think in the first half they had 52 or 55 plays that they ran, and we had 22. I mean, it's hard. I mean, to be ahead a point at half, we were fortunate just how poorly we had played. Thanks a lot to the Knowles kickoff return. But a lot of lessons to learn there, and we'll just have to be much better next week. But I'm proud of the way the guys played through that.
With Bear Insider. Coach, 3 interceptions gave you guys some short fields. You got the Noah Williams kick returns, so that generated some points for you, but less than 300 yards total offense. I know you guys wanted to push the ball down the field, and didn't look like there were a lot of shots down the field. Was that more a matter of protection, enough time to throw the ball, or what was going on there?
Well, there's a multitude of things. We definitely want to get the ball down the field more. It's something we talked about late in the first half, and we want to get the ball down the field. But the issue for us offensively was, the first half, I think it was 5 or 6 drives, we had the ball 3 plays or less. So we never had any rhythm. We didn't. I think the only time we created a first down on a drive, we ended up scoring that drive. And so, one of the keys for us is getting that first down. And the first half, we didn't do it only one time. Second half, it was much more often. But we do want to push the ball down the field more. We feel like we have some guys that can do that. And today we didn't do that well enough. So that'll be an area for us to improve.
Yeah, Jake Curtis, Cal Sports Report. And that going for it on 4th down on that 4th and 4 in the third quarter there.
Mm-hmm.
What was your thinking on that? Was it
The one that we completed to Mikey?
Yes.
Yeah. At some point, we felt like we were in the third quarter. The defense was playing pretty dang good, and we were. Felt like 3 and out. We were getting stops. We got turnovers, and we kind of needed something to break the dam. That's how I felt. And we have all this stuff like everybody, the analytics and all that, and it's kind of right on it. But I felt like we had a good play, good matchup, and we were able to complete it and get some momentum because that seemed to change.
Was it more metrics or gut?
Yeah, I don't. We use the analytic stuff as a supplement. I don't live and die by it. There's times it agrees and sometimes it disagrees, and we just needed a play, and that was a key play.
Steve Kroner from the San Francisco Chronicle. One quick one, Justin, then one longer one. The quick one is, how is Jaden Ott?
We don't have any information on Jaden yet. I know he came off the field and wasn't able to return, so we'll get some more info from the doctors and trainers here shortly.
The longer question is, Fernando got the start. Chandler did play a decent amount. Do you expect to have a similar rotation going forward, or do you think at some point one guy will get the job?
Yeah, I think we'll see. Fernando got more opportunities to throw it. I really wish we could have got some more momentum going when Chandler was in there. Just to, again, get a first down so we can get the drive started, because he can do some good things. But, yeah, I think both those guys, everybody, we just got to get better as a football team, and we'll see where that all shakes out. Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff Ferrato, Cal Sports Report. A little bit more on the quarterbacks, Justin. Did you actually see enough of Chandler to even have an opinion, and is it kind of still, jury's still out on that position?
I think we'll evaluate everything on the tape, and there's times when the quarterbacks can do better, and then there's times when, I think Chandler had one, I believe it was a second down that we threw a glance and they got dropped the ball. And so the ultimate job of the quarterbacks is to move the team down the field and put points on the board. We also try to take into consideration the play of the other players, and that's the needle we always will try and thread. So Is that fair? I don't know. It is what it is. I don't know. There's no other way than going out there playing. I wish we could have got some more momentum with Chandler in the game. Fernando created some, and he still had some plays that he can do better. I like both of them, and glad they're on our team.
The defense gave up 230-ish yards in the first half, only 70 in the second half. What changed at halftime for that resurgence?
They ran 50, I don't know what the total, they ran about 52 plays in the first half. Okay, we ran 22. So we were not staying on the field on offense. And on defense, we had some missed tackles that led to conversions. We had lost leverage in man-to-man that led to conversions. And then we had a PI on a third down that led to conversions. And so those things add up. And at that, and especially when they get midfield, they're going to go for it on fourth down. But, it wasn't like we come in and throw in 8 new defenses. It's like, do your job better. And the guys were eager. They're excited to play. We didn't play very well in the first half, really, in any phase. Ultimately, we gave up a touchdown. The fumble, the fumble return for a touchdown wasn't great. The defense could have played better in the first half, no doubt, in tackling and man coverage, but they did a much better job in the second half, and it looked more like what we would expect.
Cody Henderson, the league winners. Hey, Coach, is it safe to assume that Noel Williams got the game ball today?
He got one of them. You got it. Noel was awesome. I mean, the kick return was huge, just as a momentum changer. And then on defense, I thought he played real sticky. He wasn't perfect. He's got a couple things that showed up, but I really liked his competitiveness. And Noel, both he and Marcus, I thought had some real good moments. But I think if you ask them, they would expect to play better as well. So I'm really happy for Noel, and I'm looking forward to watching him improve this week.
Okay. Coach Morris Phillips from sportsradioservice.com. A lot of guys played their first game for Cal today. Who do we highlight? You guys, did a great job on the recruiting trail this summer.
Who do you want to? Well, Teddy Buchanan had 9 tackles. That he was noticeable. Marcus Harris showed up. Who else played a bunch? How about the kicker? This ball going in the end zone, go through the uprights. I thought he did a heck of a job. Punter punted it well. Mikey gave us a couple returns. So I thought the special teams was more of a weapon today because of some of those guys. And then I think we batted the ball down on defense. T.J. Bowlers, I believe, had one or two, and Big Aiden had one. Those guys are new. So, yeah, I thought it was good to see them out there. And like I said, we got to grow leaps and bounds this week, but proud of them.
Thomas Dunn, right for California. Coach, did you sense that in addition to the execution in the first half that your team was pressing, had some nerves, or even came out flat?
They weren't flat. I wouldn't say that. I know they're excited to play. They want to play well. I guess the unfortunate part of, one of the challenges of football, I should say, is wanting to do it well and doing it well are two different things. Like 1-2 is part of it, and then there's the focus, execution, skill to do it well. And we didn't do that in the first half as well as we could have. So I think they're excited for sure. And now it's like I said, a lot of guys playing early, first time here, whatever, just kind of settling in. And the second half felt a lot different to me. I don't know if it looked different to you. It sure felt that way. So now we got to build on that. Yeah. But again, I'm proud of them for not panicking and screaming at each other in the locker room because it didn't feel great. I mean, it didn't feel great on offense, didn't feel great on defense in that first half. So that you got to stay the course, do your job, rely on your training, and they did that.
Michelle Moshkovoy with the Daily Californian. Coach, today UC Davis was led by your former tight ends coach, Tim Plow. 2 years ago, the score was almost identical, 34-14, against the Aggies. Today, what did you see from them? Any changes, any continuity?
Yeah. I'm really glad we won that game, and I'm proud of our team for the way they competed, especially the second half. I'm also glad because now I get to talk to Tim again. He's an excellent coach. He's an even better human being. He does a hell of a job. He really does. And they're in great hands with Tim Plow, I tell you that much. So, yeah.
Mia Wachtel, Daily Californian. Looking ahead at Auburn, what will you guys be looking to improve, if anything? Last year you guys fell just short. Wondering what your thoughts are there.
Yeah, I think it's all the stuff from today. You know, we're going to look at their tape. Auburn's going to have an extremely talented roster. I mean, the size and speed, the quickness, all that's going to be a level up, and that's not at all a shot on UC Davis. UC Davis has some dang good players. That running back, quarterback, the safety, the DNs, like those guys are good football players. Auburn is going to be physically, they're just going to be bigger, and they'll have some really fast guys. So we just got to be much tighter. The details of our assignments, the execution levels got to crank up. And so we'll prepare for them based on what they've done on tape, and then we got to go and again execute and do our jobs at a really good clip.
Justin, Callaway fumbled, looked like he got hurt, couldn't tell for sure, and then I didn't see him get back in the game. Did he not get back in the game because he was hurt, or did he not get back in the game because of?
Yeah, I haven't talked to the docs yet regarding him. We also had some other backs that got opportunities in there, you know, the Jet and Cardwell. So we'll see where his injury is after this.
But today, it wasn't because he fumbled. And
yeah, there's a combination of
combination.
things. Yeah.
Coach, back to Auburn a little bit. Going into Jordan-Hare Stadium, obviously one of the biggest home advantages in the country, in SEC country. How are you going to be preparing for that crowd noise going into this next Saturday?
Crank up the crowd noise. You hit it. Crank up that crowd noise. During practice time, we work silent count often, and it's part of college football. It's a great part of college football, these environments and the pageantry of these storied programs. So it'll be really exciting to play down there. Our guys will be looking forward to it. But, yeah, we'll have to work a bunch of crowd noise. There's no doubt.
Coach, back to the Auburn questions. So you talk about the speed, you talk about the weight and the size. The heat is going to be a factor. Will you plan on going down a few days earlier?
We'll leave on Thursday. Yeah, our guys go to school. They got classes, so.
Oh yeah, we forgot about that.
Yeah, we'll be leaving Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know we got a couple days in the heat during fall camp. Is it going to be like it is down there? Probably not. I think we'll acknowledge how hot it's going to be. We'll hydrate. We'll prepare during the week, knowing that, and ultimately we need to go play the football game, and we'll play multiple people at multiple positions.
Yeah,
but. Unless you have a better idea, if you can turn it down or something. You know,
I wish I could.
Yeah.
But segueing back to the game today, I noticed that in the beginning of the game there was a high tempo offense going, and I thought it was amazing. But there was just some the timing wasn't right. And how do you actually? It feels like it's a balancing act of speeding it up or slowing it down so that your guys can get ready to execute effectively.
Yeah, so we utilize tempo. It's not every down, but we have it and we'll use it. It goes back to this concept of you got to get the first down. It's hard to play with any effective tempo on a negative play or an incomplete pass. That's not when tempo is useful. You need to be moving the ball. That's where it kind of, again, you probably felt it on that one drive, because that was really the only drive in the first half. We got the first down, and then here we go. It's kind of a snowball effect. So, and you can check this, but I think during the game, once we got our first down, we scored on those drives. And when we didn't, obviously, you're 3 and out, and we had, I think, 5 or 6 of those in the first half. It just feels so different. And the other team had the ball, and so that's the key. Get that first down, and then you can utilize the tempo if it's appropriate.
All right, we'll have a final question from the back.
Joaquin Ruiz with Calex Radio and the Daily Cal. You mentioned Buchanan earlier, but what was it like to see him and Ulave next to each other with kind of a really impressive inside linebacker core today?
Yeah, I like it when they line up out there together. Those are two talented guys, and there's going to be it's Teddy's first game here. Cade's still a youngster. He's started the second half of his true freshman season last year, so he's still learning a lot, but you can see the playmaking in both of them. I mean, they sure flash from time to time. Now, there's things they got to fix, but I love having those guys out there. I mean, so, yeah.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you. Go Bears.